Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Six Pack Sports. We're here on episode 29. We're starting off this episode with something fun. In real world, we're at the NCAA Sweet 16. So I thought it'd be a good time to put together a ultimate man's bracket. I have, correct me if I'm wrong here, Rich. I have man things on here. These are
Things men like.
these are things that men like. Okay. And to break it down, we're going to find a champion. So today we're going to introduce the matchups. We're going to equally pick our first round. And I think that we should just get right into it. On the left side of the bracket, the 1 seed.
It's a 16
yeah, 16
bracket.
16 team bracket, 16 top bracket.
In the West region, boobs are taking on carbs, as in carbohydrates, breads, pizzas, all the delicious things.
Sneaky 8 seed here. It's a sneaky 8 seed.
It is, because both are great. There's no question. So, I mean, boobs is the obvious choice here, but there is a case to be made for carbs, for bread, for that. I just can't put enough behind it to get away from boobs, so I have to move them on.
See, of all of these matchups, this matchup is one where I can't live my life without either of them. So that's why but I would have to agree. I can't take enough away or add more to carbs to take it over the edge. So I am equally pushing boobs into the Elite 8 here.
Yeah, I think carbs as an 8 seed might be a little bit of a dig at carbs as far as seeding goes, but I think it's a clear case. We just have to move them on to the next round. Moving down to the 2 versus 7 seed, or do we want to go back and forth? Do we want to do our one side or the other?
No, go continue. I'm just laughing.
So on our 2 versus 7, we have whiskey with a buddy, and our 7 seed is grilling. No,
again, these two things can happen at the same time. So that's why it's such a toss-up.
See, the whiskey with a buddy is so nice because you can break their things and blame it on their dog.
That's a true story. That's a true story. Oh, you got to do a little side panel story on
No,
that.
we were back in Montgomery, Alabama, sipping some whiskey. Our girls were out. I don't know where they went. They went out to do something.
Movie.
And Drew and I just got ripped off of Seagram's, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Seagram's.
To the point where I fell over and broke your ottoman, and then tried to blame it on your giant German Shepherd for jumping up on it. That was the dog. The dog jumped up on there and broke it. That wasn't me. I'm not that drunk.
See, here's the deal with that. Whiskey with a buddy. That is the ultimate door opener for conversation. So a couple sips of whiskey, and I can talk about literally anything, and I'm open to talking about anything. However, on the flip side, grilling, I think grilling is as much as a disrespect as the 7 seed as carbs were for an 8 seed.
I have to pull the upset here. I have to go with grilling because it's almost therapeutic. Like, to me, I love to cook. I like to prepare it. It's something that like zones me out. I enjoy it. So I'm going to have to give grilling here the edge over whiskey with a buddy, because here's the thing. I can still have beers with a buddy. I can have a gin and tonic with a buddy.
So you're afraid of that. You're afraid of that matchup is what you are.
I can have a good. What matchup?
You're afraid of the ice cold beer and a whiskey with a buddy matchup.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think I know where I would go on those ones. But to me, grilling, I just think it's just slightly better than whiskey with a buddy. So there's other options. So if you get rid of grilling, grilling's gone.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing about grilling. I love doing it. Love it. But there's been times where I've grilled some bad things and I've made mistakes.
Yeah.
It's either too hot.
I've never made mistakes while drinking whiskey.
Never made a mistake while drinking whiskey. So as much as I want to take on that grilling, because that's a personality right there.
Yeah,
Grilling is a personality. As much as I want to see the upset there, it's not there for me. So I'm gonna take on whiskey with a buddy into the second round.
respect. I mean, there's really not a wrong answer. All right, so next up we'll have our 3 seed, ice cold beer, taking on the 6 seed, admiring a perfectly cut lawn, specifically your perfectly cut lawn.
Again, something that can happen at the same time. This
Often
matchup,
does.
that matchup is difficult to comprehend because I've definitely finished mowing my lawn, looking at it, pondering how perfect it is
Mhm.
as I'm holding an ice cold beer. So that's a tough matchup. I'm gonna have to give a very, very, very slight edge to ice cold beer.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, there's nothing better than ice cold beer.
Yeah, I also have to go ice cold beer. Um, Admiring a perfectly cut lawn is a top 10, I think, like, dad experience. But the ice cold beer, there's just so many occasions it's good for. The vacation beer, the airport beer, first beer of the vacation, the shower beer, the first beer as you're getting ready to walk into a game. Like, there's just so many good beers. The lawn is great. It feels good, but it goes quickly. That ice cold beer can be enjoyed for a while.
Also, living in Michigan, I can only review a perfectly cut lawn for about 5 months out of the year.
Mhm.
I can enjoy an ice cold beer 12 months out of the year.
Respect. Takes
Are
us on to our 4 and 5 seed. I'm gonna let you lead us off here. This one's really tough for me. We have our 4 seed of steak taking on our 5 seed bacon. We're getting beefy and porky here. It's a age old battle. I can tell you're not Jewish, or this would be a really easy one. But this is a tough one. What do you think?
I think this comes down to longevity on this one. I think
What's
a
that word?
uh,
What's that word you just
long
said?
longevity,
Longevity.
longevity. Oh boy,
Longevity.
oh boy, too many Mountain Dews to just be
Too
ripping
many
that
ice
word
cold
out.
beers.
Longevity,
Longevity.
the longevity of this matchup is what gets it for me, and that's a steak. It usually carries a little bit more weight.
Mhm.
Nobody goes to a bacon house, no, they go to a steakhouse. Okay,
Now that's a business idea. A bacon house.
a bacon house.
I am tossing and turning on this one because you hit the only case there is, I think, to be made for steak. I think bacon is a more enjoyable food to eat, but you can't eat a 16-ounce pork belly. It's just you
You
can't do.
can. It's just not advisable.
I don't know any. If you can, you're going to be 600 pounds. But I can put down a 16-ounce ribeye pretty happily. Um, this is probably the hardest one. It's a good 4 or 5 matchup. Uh, Bacon just goes with so many things, and you wrap it around. And I think this is why I have to go with steak, is I think bacon is best accompanied on other things. Bacon wrapped steak, shrimp, scallops. You put it on something else, and it makes other things better. Steak stands alone by itself. If you just have a piece or two of bacon, you still need more. You need something else. But with steak, I can just eat a steak and I'm a happy man. So I'm going to go with you. Steak in the narrowest of edges over bacon, which completes our left side of the bracket. I'm going to let you break down the right side.
It's all about longevity.
Longevity.
Moving on to our northeast bracket, coming in as the 1 seed. It's sex. I mean, I don't think that needs an introduction at all.
Mm-mm.
Every man knows that's it's a part of life. It's it's what you think about all day.
Mhm.
It's what you plan on doing when you go to bed, and it's kind of what you think about when you wake up. So, as the number 1 seed in the entire tournament, sex taking on an 8 seed and I think this is a sneaky one as well.
Mhm.
Kids behaving as an 8,
Yeah.
your kids behaving.
Honestly, that usually leads to the other. When the kids are
Exactly.
behaving,
Yeah.
when they're not behaving, it ain't going down. Because kids aren't behaving, mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Nobody's happy. So, and I'm not saying that my kids are misbehaved, but they're still kids.
Yeah, they're kids.
They're
They
kids,
mess
and they
up, they're
still
gonna
get on my nerves.
Mhm.
I saw a TikTok the other day is you want to know why I send my kids out to play? It was like a small pause. It's because they're annoying. It
I
was
mean, it is
perfect.
the amount of times when, like so our whole house was sick, and obviously, the 3-year-old still wanted to play. She got sick, but she bounced back the fastest as well. So Jory and I are just feeling like garbage, to take a word from you. And she's like, "Come on, let's go play. Let's go outside. Let's run. Let's do this. Let's dress up. Let's do." And I was like, "Honestly, I'll give you anything you want if you just sit here and watch a movie for an hour and a half." Do you? And I did. Like, I was giving her ice cream and chocolate. I was like, "Whatever you want. If you'll just sit here and be quiet, so Daddy can put his head down and rest his eyes."
I
Um,
I
so
make the
this
joke
week,
all the time that I'm letting Disney Plus parent today.
yeah, this week, if you had asked me, the 8 seed would have won. But today, now that I'm on the mend, number one, you got to go sex. You just you got it. That's the number one. Number one
Undoubtedly
seed
a
for a reason.
favorite in the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna beat it. Everything people always say like, "Oh, you know what's better than sex?" And they list off all these things. But then when you talk to a man, how many times have you had a buddy dip out of an amazing experience or event early to go hook up with his girlfriend or wife? It's like, yeah, they let me gotta go take care of this real quick because it's undeniably better than everything else. Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. It's
Just
it's gonna
saying.
be it's gonna be tough to knock out that top seed. So
Yeah.
coming in on the southeast part of our bracket, the 2 seed, kind of straight out of the number 1 seed's backyard, and that's slapping your wife's ass.
Mhm.
Um, no, as the 2 seed, but a very, very sneaky 7 seed sleeping in.
Yeah.
And this matchup haunts me. Like, this is the
Yeah.
matchup that, like, do I do I
It's
wanna oh, man, it's tough. I
it's
can't even
good.
put words
It's
around
so
it.
bad. Because here's the thing, the slapping of the wife's ass has become such an unconscious gesture now. Like, I've had to become mindful of it now that I have 2 daughters, not to do it too much in front of them,
It has never stopped me.
right? Like, I don't wanna do but now it's got you wanna know how bad it's gotten? Is our 3-year-old, she turns 3 in May, she'll smack Jory's butt now when she walks by. I tell her wrong good, she'll run over and smack her butt. So, that is that's a tough one to say no to, but sleeping in has become precious. We actually take turns if we can sleep in. One of us will get up with the kids, let the other one get an extra hour. Those are golden. Um, I think I might have to go with the 7 seed here. I think I might
Really?
be on a sleeper. I'm on both 7 seeds. Sleeping in is just incredible, especially with because, and you got to think you're catching me at a time. I got a 4-month old and an almost 3-year-old. Sleep is at a premium right now.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, and here's my reason why. I am dead scared of a 1 and 2 seed making the Final Four here, because if I
Mhm,
have to choose between slapping my wife's ass and sex, those 2 things can happen at the same time, and I don't
mhm,
know if my mind can boggle that matchup. So,
mm-mm.
I'm gonna have to eliminate them before I get to that point.
Often they do happen at the same time. And again, we're not doing a would you rather. You still get to do these things. It's just, right now where I'm at, sleep if you're telling me I could sleep in tomorrow, I'm taking that. I need it.
Moving into our 3-6 seed. Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. There's nothing better as a working adult who's also a parent of getting that extra 45 minutes of sleep. It's like gold.
Like, it changes the whole day.
That's a Cinderella team sleeping in.
Yeah. Sleeping in
That's
might be in my finals.
that's a scary 7 seed right there. Moving into our 3-6 seed, coming in at the 3rd seed, the perfect golf shot,
Mm,
or
mm.
the 6th seed, is your dog choosing you over your significant other.
That is pretty great. Both of those are good. Your dog choosing you is just the greatest thing that can happen. When they come and like when they just come over, cuddle up on you, and you just look over and you get to shoot that look to your wife. I won.
Mhm.
What's up? Like it's pretty good. The perfect golf shot is a clear winner for me because the rush of endorphins and serotonin I get when you perfectly hit a drive or drop one on the green or drop a crazy putt is one of the greatest feelings in the world. Like it's not as good as our one seed of sex, but it's close. I'm going perfect golf shot.
So having a perfect golf shot is great, but I'm going to have to take choosing your dog choosing you versus your significant other.
Mm.
Um, before
For somebody that made this bracket, you're giving yourself a lot of upsets.
it's fine. Um, they were ranked. Well, let me explain how seating happened. I had my two ones, and then I just thought of stuff and put numbers by them. So um,
It wasn't a-
the ones were clear coat one seeds, and then everything else was kind of just a
That's
scramble.
great.
But when we first got married, Izzo, our dog, would listen to both of us equally. And then after we had kids, I became the alpha male very quickly. Amber will tell Izzo to do something, and Izzo will literally just like look over at me, like, Do you want me to sit down? Like, what is this woman talking about? Like,
Why is
do I have to
she?
lay down now? Like,
What are we
what's
talking
up?
about here? That's funny.
So, um, your dog choosing you, it's kind of got a little personal touch in my heart. So
Hmm.
we're gonna take the upset there over the perfect golf shot. And I'm just average at golf. So for me to get a perfect golf shot is rare. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean they're both
Bring us
good.
into our last matchup here.
I just put it away. Hold on, let me find it again. All right, so the last matchup here, we have a 4 and 5, which these are two really good ones. At the 4 seed, you have beating your rival in a sport, and at the 5 seed, you have yoga pants, which have changed the game when it comes to female attire. Uh, I'm gonna let you start with this one. This is a tough one for me.
Uh, man, yoga pants. I'm gonna have to take what you just said. That changed the game. It changed the game. But as I mentioned in the previous episode of Michigan State football, like that's our Super Bowl. I even think beating your rival is going to be pretty dangerous in this bracket because of the emotional attachment it brings to it.
Mhm.
There's nothing in this world better, and I'm not foreshadowing at all on how the rest of my bracket's going to go. There's nothing better than beating your rival because I have so many friends, you included, that cheer for the other team, and there's nothing better than saying my team was better than your team.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one, but I think I have to go with beating your rival. Yoga pants are great, but there's so many other options. Sundresses are amazing. You know, there's a lot of stuff. Short shorts,
Bikinis.
bikinis. You know, there's a lot to work with there. Lingerie, but at the end of the day, beating your rival and having that bragging rights probably for the year for most sports. Cool. Pretty good. Pretty good feeling. It literally lifts spirits for multiple days for me. Like when we beat Ohio State, I was happy until we lost two in the playoff, in the college football playoff.
Okay.
I think
So
that
kind
wraps
of
a pretty good
so
bracket.
to recap what we have here, the three seeds did not do very well across the board. Perfect. Excuse me. You have a perfect. You have a perfect golf shot. So never mind. The two seeds Oh, no, we both picked different there. I don't know what I'm talking about. So let's just talk about our Elite Eight matchups that we'll do next week. On the northwest side of the bracket, we have our 1 seed Boobs taking on the 5 seed Steak for both
Mhm.
of us. In the southwest bracket, we have Ice Cold Beer as a 3 seed taking on Whiskey for you. Excuse me, Whiskey for me and Grilling for you.
Mhm.
So we'll see how that turns out. In the northeast bracket, we have both of us, the 1 versus 4 seed, Sex versus Beating Your Rival. And in the southeast bracket, both of us had the 7 seed moving on of Sleeping In, which is going to be a sleeper Cinderella team. That's going to be scary. What's better than
Have to
Sleeping In?
tweet
That's
out
tough.
the bracket and our picks so that anybody they can check it out on Twitter.
Absolutely. And then that 7 seed Sleeping In will take on your dog choosing you over your significant other for myself, and the perfect golf shot for Rich. Um, there's favorites in this tournament. We'll
Yeah,
see if anything can. It might change from week to week too.
yeah. Like I said, if you had asked the sleeping in is at such a premium right now compared to if you had asked me 3 or 4 years ago, I'd be like, I
Right.
get plenty of sleep. Like it's not a bit. I don't need to sleep in because I'm good. Right now, sleeping in is very valuable.
It's like it has monetary value at this point
Yeah,
in my life.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I would pay.
I would pay.
I would pay. I've thought about it. Like I've checked out. Like what I would need to do to have somebody like just come and watch our kids for 2 days. And like honestly, if we could just get our baby to the point where she can spend the night, like we're shipping them to my parents and just having an actual night to sleep. Oh, it's like gold. Um,
You know what
moving.
we missed? You know what we missed here was a boobs versus a butt matchup.
Yeah, I was shocked that wasn't on there. Like if they not having them on opposite sides of the bracket so they could meet each other.
Um, I just thought slapping your wife's ass would carry a little bit more weight,
Yeah,
but Sleeping In just
right.
took over there.
Still get to pinch it. Topic: Detroit Pistons worst record in the NBA.
So they do have the worst record in the NBA, and it's extremely embarrassing to watch. I'll tune in and I'll be
Cade,
like,
is
this is
Cade back yet?
man, the
He was
game
hurt.
I watched. He wasn't, and it's been like a week, so maybe I don't know.
No reason to
Um,
bring him back now.
there's absolutely no reason to bring him back. Might as well just let him rest
Right.
the rest of the year. They are one of 3 teams that have a 14% chance at the number 1 pick, which is undoubtedly probably going to be Victor
I don't.
Wem
Wembayana.
Wembanyama.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
He's got a longevity name. I'll tell you that right now. Um, he's he's anywhere from 7'2" to 7'4" in height. I've seen a couple different things to say how tall he is. And let's be honest, correct me if I'm wrong. He's probably the best #1 pick since LeBron. With hype. With hype.
Oh, with hype? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the videos that I've seen of him on Twitter and like the way he handles the ball being over 7 foot doesn't make sense. He shouldn't be able to do the things he does. So, I mean, I just hope we don't have what happens with the Red Wings happen to us, where we miss out on a generational talent when we should
Mhm.
get the 1 seed and we get the 4 pick. But they do
14,
hate
14. Yes. So we'll see
they
what
hate
happens there.
Detroit. The world hates Detroit. The NBA hates when Detroit's good because it's not good for ratings. So what are you going to do? I won't be shocked if somebody else gets the #1 pick.
The NBA, in my eyes, and we've had this discussion before, it's just not there anymore. It needs a little bit of spark. And maybe it's because the Pistons are bad. Maybe I don't care because my team's bad.
It's definitely
Like
part of it
it,
for me.
there's nothing better. And this should have been on the bracket. Is the '04 Pistons. That should have been on the ultimate band bracket. Is
God,
the
that was
'04
such a
Pistons.
funny year.
Like that was just like the highlight of my Piston fanhood.
And we were
I was
teenagers, so like we really got to get excited about it, like unbridled teenage excitement.
correct. And I do want to remind our listeners that Richie thought that this Detroit Pistons team had a shot at the playoffs.
Oh yeah, after that first week and like they were gelling and young and they were playing good defense, I was like, oh, they're gonna sneak into the 10 seed. We're an up and comer. Nah, we're terrible. We're the worst team in the NBA.
I think they're losing on purpose. I don't think they're the worst team in the NBA, but they're
Sure.
playing that way. Enough about the Pistons. That team's a garbage can. Moving on to a team that we like to talk about because they're good, and that's the Detroit Lions. Start us off with a little bit of running back drama. Jamal Williams said, hey, the Lions lowballed me. What do you think on that?
I think we talked about him as long as the money was right. I was hoping he would get paid a fair amount. I didn't want to overpay him because he's coming off a big year, but he's 27, 28 now, which is where running backs tend to fall off a cliff, unless you're Adrian Peterson, which he is not. So I would have liked to bring him back. However, I think we did just fine. So if we didn't make the move we made, I would have been more upset than I am.
This is the first time that I've seen a negative story about Jamal Williams. And I was so surprised on how fast the script flipped on him in the media of gotta sign him, gotta sign him, gotta sign him, gotta bring him back. He's good for the locker room, gotta sign him, gotta bring him in too. He said one bad thing about us. He's trash.
No, I hate that. And
I hate it too.
right,
I hate it too, but
right.
that's what we're seeing. That's
I
what
don't
we're
like
seeing.
that at all.
All of a sudden his goofy mannerisms and his personality was a distraction. That's
Right.
what I heard on our local radio shows, and it just made me mad. I was like, no.
It's such an old head
This dude he's all right.
He
We
wanted
couldn't
to be
come to
here.
terms with the money.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Thank you for your services. Move on.
Yeah, I hope he crushes it down there playing opposite Alvin Kamara. Like he's going to get a lot of touches. I hope he does great. I think they're a sleeper team this year, bringing in Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I wish
they can play defense.
I don't know what the offer was. I think he ended up getting $12 million over 3 years with $8 million guaranteed, which I mean that doesn't sound like the worst deal for a running back on the back end. So
on the back end of his career. No.
If the Lions offered him less than that, maybe that was it. But getting David Montgomery, he's younger, and honestly, I think he's a better football player. So he gives you that three-dimensional running back of between the tackles as well as being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. I'm excited about Montgomery. I loved Jamal Williams, though. Like the energy he brought, he was himself. He was a good locker room guy. I wish it would have worked out. I'm not mad that it didn't because we were able to bring in some talent behind him. So it's just kind of one of those situations where it is what it is. I hope that people don't dog him, though. Like there should be no animosity towards him moving forward.
I wholeheartedly agree. In the standpoint of wishing him luck, he's going to do fine. But on the flip side, Williams, why are you dropping comments like that?
Well, I can almost understand it because he made it very clear he wanted to be in Detroit. He liked the organization, all that. And I mean, if they did lowball him, like I'm so curious what the offer was. Like if they offered him a 3-year,
it's a business. This is a business.
I get it, but like it's a business, but they build relationships with these towns, these teams, these coaches. So I can understand where he felt disrespected. And it's not like he said he said they lowballed me. He said they gave me a lowball offer and I left. I don't think that that's that bad of a thing to say, unless I'm missing something, which I may be, if there was something else said that I don't know about. If it was as simple as the Lions lowballed me and, he's a little butthurt about it, I think it's fine. It's being said. We're all moving on now.
I just think there's a better way to present that.
Let's talk about
Let's talk about guys coming in.
About something. Speaking of positive things, Lions signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles Love this signing. Young playmaking safety that's going to come in and compete immediately upgrades our secondary. Love everything Brad
Well,
Holmes
he's
is doing.
starting. He's starting. He's immediately a starter.
Yeah, he's going to go. It's going to be him and Kirby Joseph back there. People are trying to say Tracy Walker is going to be this. No. It's going to be Kirby Joseph and it's going to be CJ Gardner-Johnson, and they're going to be a problem.
2 reasons why I like this deal. It's a prove-it contract. You know, Brad Holmes threw out the old art of the 1-year deal again. He's going to play for his next contract, which I love. It showed with DJ Chark this past year.
Yep.
Did he leave yet? I didn't even see.
I haven't seen. I'll Google it right now, but you can go ahead.
So, one, it's a prove it year. It's a prove it contract, 1-year deal. What do you get? Like 8.5, maybe something along those lines. I can't really remember.
Nothing on Chark yet.
But secondly, he will play any role. That's what I like about him. He's very versatile. He can go on both sides of the field, and he can guard multiple positions. You need him to line up with a tight end, he's going to do that. You need him to line up with your best wide receiver, he's going to do that. You need him to back up another corner on a tough matchup, he's going to do that. And I think that's what we were missing last year is that strong safety. Kirby Joseph
with experience, but he was a rookie. So how much he was just coming into his own, Kirby Joseph. I think he's going to be really good for us. Here's what I get really excited about with CJ Gardner-Johnson. Number one, came from a competitor, playmaker last year, knows what it takes to be part of a good defense. Love that. 2, where was he before the Eagles for 3 years? He was in New Orleans with Danny Campbell. He understands what he's all about. He wanted to come here with him.
And our defensive coordinator. He was there.
So he likes that. Like Anzalone, they posted a picture dapping up like they're boys. They know each other. I think he's going to come in and be an immediate culture fit, which is huge. Lastly, when you look, I looked up his stats because, I didn't know CJ Gardner's stats off the top of my head. He's been a consistent playmaker, and he plays in most of the games. I don't think he's really missed too much with injury. He's gotten consistently better every year. 1 pick, 3 picks, 6 picks last year. Tackles have gone up every year, and pass breakups have gone up every year. So he's gotten better going into year 5. So we're getting a prove-it deal with a guy that hopefully is peaking, is going to be really close to around his prime DB years. Our DBs were our biggest issue last year. Brad Holmes has gone out and addressed that pre-draft. I'm excited about CJ Gardner-Johnson and our other DB signings.
Is he the Super Bowl guy that had the holding?
I don't think so.
I can't remember. You're going to have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm Googling it now.
As you're Googling that, we can kind of transition into our next topic here, NFL. Well, to close out this, I think the Lions front office have done everything right so far this offseason on even yours and I's, complaints heading into the season. We got to fix the defense. We got to re-sign a couple players, and we got to bring in new talent to boost our defense. And we haven't even got to draft yet. So that's what's huge. So transitioning into that, an NFL draft wish list. I can't talk today. The longevity of this
longevity
of this podcast is getting to me. What is your wish list heading into 6 and 18? Just the first round. What did we look at?
It's changed so much based on what he did. I wanted to see probably a DB again. But now I think we're okay. If there's a really great DB left at 18, I wouldn't hate it. But right now at 6, I want to see D-line. That's where I would like to see it go. And at 18, I give me another offensive lineman. We've got a fantastic one right now, but Taylor Decker's getting up there in age. We just signed an old Graham Glasgow. We've got some guys that are getting up there a little bit. Give me another offensive lineman because right now I see weapons on our team. And I see all the pieces on defense that we need. So at 6, I would love to see D-line, specifically like an edge rusher to put opposite of Aiden. or a big man in the middle. Like you said, what's his face from Georgia?
Jalen Carter.
I'm very torn about that because he just got Albert Hainsworth written all over him to me. Like all the physical attributes to be the most dominant nose or 1 or 2 tech in the NFL. But then he's already up like 12 pounds this offseason, and he couldn't complete the agility drills or really the drill work at his pro day. Like he's that out of shape.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care that he's struggling at the combine. I don't care that he's a little out of shape.
It's a little out of shape. He's up 15 pounds. He couldn't complete the drills. He's a professional athlete.
I don't care. I don't. I think that I think that he's gonna come into the system. They're gonna work on what they want to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I picture myself as a 21-year-old leaving college, entering my first job. Like I wasn't perfect. I'm still
No.
not. So it doesn't bother me that he's getting tired in these drills because these drills mean nothing compared to what he's doing on the field. And
Yeah.
that's what I do. I watch what he does on the field. The dude's a monster. And if we could grasp what he does and maximize it, he's a steal at 6. But I wouldn't mind trading up and try to get Will Anderson because I think he's a Hall of Famer. Do I want to give up some stock to jump up? No, I don't. But I'll take Jalen Carter at 6, and then best available linebacker or edge at 18.
Yeah. So it's looking like it's going to be 4 quarterbacks and Will Anderson taken in front of us.
In the front 5, yes.
So it's really okay. Is there something you can entice to Arizona at the 3 pick, who are projected to take Will Anderson, to move back? I don't know.
Do you think Seattle's taking a quarterback as well?
That's what the projection is right now for them to take a quarterback. Will they? I don't know. I like Geno Smith, but also like he's in his 30s now. This isn't a bad time at a pick like this because they've got a decent team to take a quarterback, to let him sit for a year, learn, especially like a Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, who is probably going to be their pick, and see if they can develop a little bit and bring in the additional pieces around him with those mid to late round picks that they'll probably get moving on. Honestly, I wouldn't hate to see the Lions trade back from that 6th spot.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it either. I just don't want to do it.
I don't mind it.
It depends what the package is. If we could drop down to like
Yeah,
9 or 10, still get the best available edge rusher at that moment, I'm fine with that, and gain maybe another second round or something. It depends what the package is.
yeah.
But if the guy that I want is at 6, I don't want to miss out on that.
No, if Will Anderson is there at 6 for some ungodly reason, that's the biggest no-brainer of all time. But yeah, like,
unfortunately,
the problem is once you get to that 6th pick, like everybody kind of needs all the same things. So it's like if they don't get their corner, they're going to take their edge or they're going to take their DL. There's not a lot of reason for them to trade around. So I don't know. This is the one year in the draft where I'm like, okay, I really don't have a clue what they're going to do. One thing that I am 100% certain of is I got a lot of faith in Brad Holmes. My guy did a awesome job last year. He's making signings that I really like. I'm excited for the draft in a way that I haven't been in a long time. Like Lions fans were always excited for the draft, but this year, like we're a contender.
Brand new Lions.
Love it. PNL. All right.
On a sad note, though, I do have to close out this Lions agenda on a very, very scary stat. History suggests that the Godfather will not return to a Super Bowl. According to a stat discovered by CBS Sports, the last 16 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut did not make it back to the Super Bowl and haven't yet. This dates back to 1995 with Stan Humphries of the San Diego Chargers. That's a 30-year stat.
That's a big one.
Aggressive.
I mean, I don't know the other ones in between there, but it's like 84 or 85. Dan Marino went to one in his rookie year and never made it back.
I mean, we're looking at Goff. We're looking at Burrow. We're looking
Matt
at
Ryan.
Cam Newton.
I mean, yeah, we just have to go through and name all the losing quarterbacks that weren't Tom Brady.
Which is a lot.
I think Kyle Orton, like there's some in there that makes sense though. Like there's Kyle Orton in 2006 for the Bears. Like he wasn't coming back to one.
Let's see here.
Kaepernick's one of them. I mean, there's some random ones.
All right, here's the list. Most recently, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, Rex Grossman, Matt Hasselbeck, Donovan McNabb, Jake Delhomme, Rich Gannon, Kerry Collins, Steve McNair, Chris Chandler, Drew Bledsoe, Neil O'Donnell, and Stan Humphrey. Now, Drew Bledsoe made a Super Bowl, but he wasn't the starter.
He's the backup.
Backup.
Well, he didn't really make it his first year either. Like he got knocked out.
No, he did make it his first year.
I thought he got knocked out and Tom Brady came in and won it. Oh,
New England made the Super Bowl before Tom Brady, and then they drafted him, and then they made it again a couple of years.
And then he won it with him. Yeah. All right. So on a fun note, tell me what news you saw right before we started recording.
This is a big deal, and I hope that we can figure out a way that you could get down to the D for this. But NFL Draft 2024, Detroit, Michigan. And I'm going to steal a quote from a good man that I heard earlier today. Would love to have the 32nd pick in the first round of a draft in Detroit.
Yeah, nothing would make me happier than the Lions winning the Super Bowl and hosting the draft. It'd be the greatest thing ever. That being said, I'm not coming back to Detroit for the draft. I've been to Detroit.
That'd be a fun.
If I'm gonna go to a draft, I'm gonna go to a fun city like what they've done it in Nashville and Vegas. You're telling me I can go to Nashville or Las Vegas for the weekend, or honey, let me cash in my boys' trip week to go to Detroit where I can go whenever I want. Oh, I'm gonna go stay at Boulder City Casino and hang out.
Listen to this sales pitch.
Detroit's not nice. It's not a nice place to visit.
Jory, while we're there, we can visit your family or friends.
Yeah, we do take a summer trip most years, so maybe I'll be able to finagle it. Usually we try and go in like July or August when it's really hot down here, but maybe we'll do it in April. We'll see. I don't know. And actually probably not, because it's going to be my dad's 60th birthday. His birthday always falls around the draft on April. It's April 25th. He's turning 60, so that's not going to be able to do that unless he comes.
He'll be 60 next year.
Correct, during this draft.
Gotcha. Okay.
In 2024. This year's 59.
There would nothing that should be on our man bracket, having the last pick of the first round.
Winning your team winning the Super Bowl.
And getting the last pick.
I mean, it's like your favorite team winning their championship. The greatest thing. That's gonna be a fun April in the D, because hopefully in 2024 the Red Wings are better and competing for a playoff spot. Good luck to Tyler Bertuzzi in Boston. That team is like waiting to see if they're going to make that leap. Is interesting. Hopefully the Tigers will be doing something. Their young guys are starting to look good in spring training. Lions are good. I'm hoping that we're on the up. It's been a rough couple of years. So April in the D 2024, book it. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Before I let you go, the man bracket. Tell me a sleeper that we got to look out for in this next round of matchups.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. The sleeper in the next round. I mean, you really got to watch out for sleeping in. That could make a run for me. That really could. That would be the one that as I'm looking at it is the most dangerous. The sleeping in as a 7 seed. I got a newborn at home, so I got to tell you, like, that is the premium right now. Sleep is worth its weight in gold if you could weigh it.
The 7 seed sleeping in is a scary Cinderella matchup.
Everybody should be on notice. Sleeping in is coming.
But as I quoted before, and they're taking on the number 1 seed in the tournament. There's nothing better than beating your rival. So we'll see how this plays out. With that said, good luck getting your number 1 seed here in the next couple days, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.